Hello everyone, my name is Matt Canzera, multimedia specialist for Fierce Freedom, and I'm so thankful that you're taking this time to watch this educational video. One of the things that Fierce Freedom does to accomplish its mission is educate kids, teens, and adults to the dangers of exploitation and human trafficking. The word exploitation means taking advantage of someone's vulnerabilities to achieve personal gains, and it can happen to anyone. This can include, but is not limited to, exploitation and human trafficking, and teens are often targeted because they are vulnerable. The word vulnerability means being susceptible to being hurt or harmed physically or emotionally. When we're talking about teens, this is important because many times teens are vulnerable because, first of all, they're young. And because they're young, they're unaware of some dangers that might be out there. And of course, they're looking for love and acceptance. Some other risk factors include teenagers who have run away from home, teens who have negative peer groups, and those who have a prior history of abuse. We want to share with you a fictional story about a 16-year-old girl named DJ. As you watch this story, I want to see if you can pick out the ways that DJ is vulnerable.
Dear Diary, today was the worst day. All of the kids in my Spanish class started making fun of me when I stuttered asking the teacher to go to the bathroom, and my crush since 8th grade, Ricky, also joined in, and so did Sonia, my ex-best friend, who doesn't even sit with me at lunch now. What made it worse is that my mom forgot to pick me up from school again, so I had to call her from the office. I think it's because my dad's been drinking again. I heard them arguing late last night. I just wish they would get a divorce. I feel like they don't even care about me. When they're yelling, I grab my dog Pepper and I listen to music just to try and block it all out. And then sometimes when I'm mad, I go on this online game and talk to some of my friends on there. They don't care about my stutter. They just care that I kill all the bad guys. Thanks for listening, DJ.
Take a moment now to list out loud some of the vulnerabilities that you saw in that video clip. Feel free to pause this video to do so. Some of the things in the video were, first of all, DJ was looking for love and acceptance. Next, she had a distant relationship with her parents, and they weren't very reliable. On top of that, there's a history of alcoholism in her family. DJ gets bullied at school because she stutters. She lacks supportive peers. She looks online so that she can feel desirable. And this one's a little hard to understand, but she has a beloved pet. All of those are things that show that DJ was vulnerable. The next thing that we're going to discuss is the grooming process. This is the process by which somebody builds an emotional connection to gain trust of a victim for the purpose of sexual abuse, exploitation, or human trafficking. Some ways that grooming takes place is, first of all, pretending. Someone could pretend to be a father, a friend, a boyfriend, a sister. Another thing is providing things that the victim might want. This could be alcohol, drugs, clothing, or expensive jewelry, or simply a place to stay. Next, false promises about a better future. And then a false sense of protection. And finally, it could go all the way to punishing the victims with violence. In this next part of DJ's story, see if you can identify the grooming tactics that are being used.
Dear Diary, it's been a while since I last wrote in you, and that's because after the last entry, I met someone. His name is Cole, and he popped up in my gaming server telling me he really liked my profile picture. I think he's the one. We talked every night since then, and we have so much in common. He added me on Snapchat, and he's giving me gaming tokens, and he sent me a beautiful bracelet in the mail. He is so cute. He's older, 20, and he has his own car. And he said that I'm the most beautiful girl that he's ever talked to, and that he wants to be my boyfriend. I told him about the kids at school, and he said that they didn't matter. And then I told him about my parents fighting, and he said he'd always be there for me. I feel like I can tell him anything. He said he really wants to be with me, and he's saving money for the future, our future. And I can't wait, because all I want is to be with him. Tonight, we're video chatting for the first time. He said he's really excited to see what I look like. He hinted that he wanted to see me in my underwear, but I'm kind of nervous because I've never really done that before. But I feel like that's what boyfriends and girlfriends do, and I just want to make him happy. But my parents would freak out if they found out, so I've got to keep it a secret. Love, DJ.
All right, once again, take some time to say out loud the grooming tactics that you saw in that video. And again, feel free to pause this video to do so. Let's see if you saw them all. First, he meets the need that she has for attention and affection. And then he meets her online through gaming platforms and social media, which is an easy way to pretend you're somebody that you're not. He gives her gifts like gaming tokens and actually a physical bracelet. And then he makes false promises. He isolates her by saying that her peers don't matter, but that he'll always be there for her. And then he goes so far to test the waters by asking to see her in her underwear. As I mentioned, exploitation means taking advantage of someone's vulnerabilities to achieve personal gain. A person could use various control tactics to try to keep their victim from running away or from telling someone else. Some examples of this are threats, shaming, or manipulation. See if you can identify the control tactics that Cole uses with DJ in this next clip.
Dear Diary, I'm so scared. Something has gone terribly wrong. After Cole and I video chatted, I felt kind of icky, and then he didn't message me. I felt like I did something wrong. Maybe he didn't even like me. And then he messaged me saying he missed me and he had a great idea. I was so relieved. I asked him what he meant, and he said he had a friend in the area who thought I was super hot and wanted to hang out. He would give Cole and I $500. I was confused because I thought Cole was my boyfriend, but he just said, yeah, well, you wouldn't have to do anything, just hang out with him. And then afterwards we could still go on a romantic date. You're still my beautiful girl. Don't you want us to be together? And of course I did, but this just seemed kind of weird. But Cole helped me come up with an excuse. We said I was staying at a friend's house, and it wasn't hard to lie to my parents because they didn't even know how miserable I was at school. Cole drove into town and picked me up. I couldn't believe that I was finally meeting him, and we were driving to meet another guy. We got to this sketchy hotel and booked a room. The concierge looked a little confused, but didn't say anything. Once we got to the room, I started getting nervous. Cole gave me a glass of wine, telling me to drink it, saying it would loosen me up. I wanted to call my mom, but I left my phone in the car because Cole said I wouldn't need it. We waited there for about 15 minutes and then his friend showed up. I thought he would be closer to our age, but he was older, like my dad's age. I was so confused, but when I got up to leave, Cole cornered me. His eyes looked so dark, and he told me that I couldn't leave the room until he was happy. I was so embarrassed, so I just nodded my head. Then Cole left me there with this guy for like an hour. He took my clothes off and touched me everywhere. I was too scared to leave because of what Cole said, so I just let it happen. I couldn't believe that this was my first time. Afterwards, all I could do was cry. Cole came in, wiped my tears, and said, "Good job, baby, I'm proud of you." He grabbed the money off the table and asked me if I wanted to go to dinner. I shook my head no, so he just drove me home. I never wanted to speak to him again, but he popped up on my messenger that night. I told him I never wanted to do that again, but that's when he got ugly. He told me that he knew where I lived and that he would hurt my dog and my parents if I didn't do what he told me. He also told me that he had pictures of me naked that he would post online. He called me damaged goods and said that since I wasn't a virgin anymore, I might as well keep doing this and making us money. I don't know what to do. I'm so scared of him. I don't know how to get out of this except to keep doing what he wants so he doesn't hurt my family. I never want them to find out about this. They would disown me. DJ.
You know the drill by this point. Take a few moments to say out loud the control tactics that you saw Cole use with DJ. Some of the things that were in that video clip. Cole establishes a romantic and sexual relationship and connection with DJ. And then he uses fear by threatening DJ's family and her pet. He blackmails her by saying that he's going to show the pictures that he has of her to DJ's friends. And then finally, he uses shame. He says he's going to tell her parents and also says that she is damaged goods. As we bring this video to a close, I want you to ask yourself, do the teenagers in your life know who they can go to if they find themselves in a similar situation to this? Be proactive. Talk to them about the dangers of human trafficking. Share with them how they can be safe online, and make sure that you set limits and monitor their communication. Let the teenagers in your life know that they are loved unconditionally no matter what they do. And then make sure you help them identify positive people in their lives. These could be teachers or counselors, doctors or youth leaders. Finally, use Fierce Freedom as a resource. You can find us online at fiercefreedom.org or call to talk to somebody directly at 715-514-2890. Thanks so much for watching.